record.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning into the live. As you can appreciate, there's a lot of information at this time. We had some technical difficulties on the live. Here's the full update. On April 26th, the RMWB issued a second state of local emergency as ice jammed on the Athabasca River, causing water levels along the Clearwater and Athabasca rivers to rise quickly and cause significant flooding to occur downtown Fort McMurray and surrounding area. The second state of local emergency is in addition to the state of local emergency issued for COVID-19 on March 20th. Draper, Waterways, Taganova Industrial Park, and the lower town site of Fort McMurray, except for the hospital and Grayling Terrace, are under a mandatory evacuation order. This is a critical situation at a critical time. Everyone needs to take this seriously. Water levels on the Clearwater River are still rising and the situation can change quickly. Access to the lower town site remains closed. If you live in an area under mandatory evacuation order, you are at risk and must leave immediately. Anyone remaining in high-risk areas or traveling into them are putting themselves, first responders, and others at risk of a serious incident. Remember, if you get in trouble, it falls to a first responder to save you. As of yesterday afternoon, emergency response crews had performed more than 200 search and rescue operations in areas already under mandatory evacuation orders, and more were performed overnight. Stay away from riverbanks and shorelines as they remain dangerous, and avoid stopping on the Athabasca River bridges to watch the river. We are focused on life safety and preserving critical infrastructure such as the hospital. Significant resources continue to be dedicated to berming and sandbagging the area around the hospital to mitigate flood risk. We're in constant communication with their leadership, and they assure us that they're in good shape. Staff and volunteers worked through the night at registration centers to support the high volume of evacuees and ensure accommodations were available to everyone in need. If you don't need immediate support or accommodations, there's no need to check in right now. Thousands have registered at the drive-through registration centers at the Oil Sands Discovery Center and at the Casman Center. Overnight, we worked to expand our accommodations in response to this growing need. This has meant that some individuals and families have been dispatched as far as Lac La Biche and Athabasca. If you are an evacuee, we would ask that you remain flexible and understand that we're working hard to find space for everyone who needs it. Because of the demand, you may have to travel further than you'd like or stay somewhere that you wouldn't choose to under normal circumstances. Understand that we're doing the best that we can. I'd like to recognize emergency social services, volunteers, and our community, and our industry partners who are working around the clock to find solutions in a rapidly changing environment. A boil water advisory remains in effect for all of Fort McMurray, Anzac, Draper, Fort McMurray First Nation 468, Gregoire Lake Estates, and Sapere Creek. This advisory does not include Conklin, Fort Chip, Fort Fitzgerald, Fort McKay, or Janvier. We are hearing and seeing that some areas of the region are experiencing discoloration of water. Alberta Health Services is aware and continues to maintain the boil water advisory. Alberta Health Services has indicated if you are properly boiling the water, it will be safe, even if there is discoloration. Unfortunately, we're not in a home stretch yet. As mentioned earlier in my most recent data, shows that the Clearwater River continues to rise, although not as quickly as yesterday. The Athabasca River and Hanging Stone River is slightly lower than the day before. This is a good sign. We understand that many businesses and homeowners are keen to understand the damage from flooding, and we'd like to reassure those impacted that a recovery and re-entry strategy is one of our objectives. However, it's important to understand that re-entry isn't possible until it's safe to be in these areas. We've been through a lot, and we'll get through this. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the hard work of our first responders and emergency management and public works staff, volunteers, industry partners, and community organizations who continue to support those in need. We encourage the public to visit the municipal website at rmwb.ca for the most up-to-date information. Stay informed, stay strong, and stay safe. Thank you.